live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
The governor says he will appeal to bring back the state's mask mandate in schools. The next steps he will take. A Stateline event helping out the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin returned today. We take a look at the annual Pooch Pull. And the NBA All-Star Game is tomorrow, but the weekend's events continue tonight. Scott Leber is live from Cleveland to get us hyped for Fred VanVleet's debut. Good evening, I'm David Greenberg. Thanks for joining us tonight. Governor Pritzker plans to appeal to the Illinois Supreme Court after an appellate court rejected a move to reinstate a statewide mandate for masks in schools. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the Capitol. The court's ruling effectively lets each school district decide their own policies. An attorney who represents hundreds of families challenging the mask mandate encouraged people to protest.
And all they needed was a little bit of encouragement from the court to show that they do in fact have rights in need of protection. And once they were convinced that was true, the people across the whole state kind of took control for themselves and started demanding accountability from their local districts.
About 65% of the state's districts have already made masks optional. CPS is keeping their mask requirements in place. Moderna's CEO says we may all need a fourth COVID shot. The efficacy of boosters will decline, and the company believes it will be needed by the fall for protection through the winter. U.S. health officials say it's too early to tell if a fourth shot is needed. Moderna also began clinical trials for a booster specifically for Omicron last month that might have produced mixed results. Police in Ottawa, Canada have arrested more than 100 people protesting the country's COVID-19 restrictions. Scuffles broke out as police in riot gear moved in yesterday to crack down on the so-called Freedom Convoy. Police say some protesters assaulted officers and tried to take their weapons. Authorities also started to tow big rigs that were blocking one of the city's major streets. A Stateline event helping out the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin returned today. The annual Pooch Pull took place in Janesville. Our very own Nikel Delgado was at the event. Nikel, what can you tell us about the Pooch Pull?
Well, David, it isn't your typical dog show. These dogs are showing just how strong they are by pulling weighted carts over 16 feet in just 1 minute. Some have pulled over 4,000 pounds.
It's pretty cool. It's a fun thing to get us out of the house and let them work the way that they're bred to do. So this is the sort of thing that we do to give them a constructive outlet so that they aren't just going stir crazy in the house.
Tony Yaruso is a member of the Alaskan Malamute Club of Wisconsin. He started having his dogs compete 5 years ago. Both Tuli and Tuevo have been top of their weight class. Tony tells me to help them train, they use car tires.
So we'll go down to the park and just drag things back and forth for a little while on the grass, and you're training them with treats and toys and things like that.
The Alaskan Malamute Club of Wisconsin puts on 10 weight pull competitions a year through October to March.
Come here.
There is a mix of different bigger-sized dogs pulling for the event.
Mostly you'll see Alaskan Malamutes here. You'll also see some Samoyeds, some Siberian Huskies, and in the past we've had Pit Bulls and Rottweilers and St. Bernards pulling with us.
Co-chairman of the Weight Pull Committee at the Alaskan Malamute Club of Wisconsin, Scott Bell, says any dog can join if willing to pull.
We'll probably go over 2,000 pounds. We've had pulls where we've gotten as high as 4,100 pounds. So these dogs are really strong.
Tony says it's a fun event for the dogs and their families.
Got to get out and do something, whether it's this or sledding or backpacking. And, you know, we get to let them earn awards as well for extra bragging rights, but mostly it's about the dogs getting out and doing something fun.
All proceeds from the Pooch Pull will benefit the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin. For more information on how your pooch can get involved, find this story on mystateline.com. David?
All right, thanks, Nikel. A Stateline Airport hosted a fly-in event. The event took place at the Cottonwood Airport earlier today. This was the first time an event like this took place. Residents were able to come in and watch a whole bunch of different smaller-sized planes. Ski planes and wheel planes were welcome to come to the event.
Well, we've had think it was a Piper Cherokee come in, Comanche, excuse me, Piper Comanche. We've had a few Cessna 150s, a couple of Luscombe's. We've got some of our local pilots here giving airplane rides to anybody who wants them. So it's been a very good turnout.
The turnout of the event was estimated to be around 75 to 100 people. Donations towards the airport were allowed. Fred VanVleet is in the national spotlight the next couple of nights. He'll take the court twice in Cleveland with the NBA All-Stars. Scott Leber has spent the last few days in Cleveland. He joins us once again live from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Scott, it's a busy night.
That's right, David. Tonight, right here at Rocket Fieldhouse, it is the three-point contest, part of All-Star Saturday night. Then tomorrow night, Fred will be right back here again for the All-Star game. He'll be coming off the bench for Team LeBron. Earlier today, Team LeBron and Fred took the court for a practice session at another arena just a few blocks from here where Cleveland State University plays. Fans were allowed in for that one. Not much strategy in these all-star practices. It's just a chance really for the guys to loosen up, have some fun chatting with each other. Now 815 is going to be watching very closely these next two nights, cheering on Fred. And I asked him earlier today if he had a message for the folks back home.
Absolutely, just enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Who would have thought? I think, all of this has changed drastically in the last 5 to 10 years. Our city, what we think is possible, what we see is possible. When I was growing up, I certainly never thought that a kid from Rockford could be an all-star. But here we are. So I think for the kids, you should definitely take heed to the moment. And just for the city, let's take the positivity and try to keep it going and turn that into more success and more blessings for everybody.
Fred loves his hometown, and the 815 pride in Fred is obviously quite mutual. Now, coming up a little bit later in sports, we'll find out if Fred has some kind of strategy prepared for tonight's three-point contest. For now, David, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Scott. We'll talk to you soon. Now to the increasingly tense situation between Russia and Ukraine, and the question many people are asking at this hour: will Russia invade? President Biden saying Friday he's convinced Vladimir Putin will make a military move. This as talks between the U.S. and its allies take place. ABC's Aaron Katursky joins us from western Ukraine with more.
Amid escalating tensions between Ukraine and Russia, the U.S. is continuing to warn Russia could invade Ukraine any day. President Biden told reporters Friday he's convinced Russian President Putin has decided to take military action, but the president said diplomatic resolutions remain a possibility. Asked about it today, Biden didn't answer.
What's the latest on Ukraine, Mr. President? Good to see you.
U.S. officials say more than 150,000 Russian troops are massed near Ukraine's borders. New satellite images showing Russian military activity building up in Belarus, Crimea, and western Russia. Russia conducted drills involving advanced hypersonic missiles with its neighbor Belarus, with Presidents Putin and Alexander Lukashenko watching from Moscow. In Russian-led breakaway parts of eastern Ukraine, separatists called for civilians to evacuate and accused Ukraine, without evidence, of preparing to launch its own attack. The U.S. sees this as part of Russia's attempt to cast Ukraine as the aggressor and invade under the pretext of protecting Russian-speaking citizens. ABC's Ian Pennell is in Kyiv.
The West is warning that this could be the pretext for a Russian invasion, because Vladimir Putin is claiming that the Russian speakers in the east of the country are under attack.
In Germany, Ukrainian President Zelensky, the U.S. national security team, and NATO allies gathered to talk about a diplomatic solution. Vice President Kamala Harris said one is still possible, but she issued this warning.
If Russia further invades Ukraine, the United States, together with our allies and partners, will impose significant and unprecedented economic costs.
Aaron Katursky, ABC News, Lviv, Ukraine.
The U.S. is also bolstering its NATO allies near Ukraine ahead of a potential invasion. The Pentagon is selling the most advanced battle tank in the world to Poland. The sale requests of the Abrams tank was officially made at a joint press conference with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Poland's defense minister. The sale will include 250 battle tanks. The U.S. will also send nearly 5,000 more troops to Poland.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, it was a very nice day outside today. Temperatures got up into the 20s, but we had lots of sunshine to boot. The high-pressure system was keeping skies clearer, and our temperatures and winds were pretty light as well. We zoom out, we really don't see much of anything, just these snow showers that pushed through yesterday, now moving off to the northeast. Still very calm conditions here with that high-pressure system that has been in place. Winds are beginning to pick back up, coming out of the southeast now. South or southeast, right around 10 to 15 miles per hour in some locations. Those will continue to rise through the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. Still calm conditions here. No more snow on the roads that we had last night. Our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera of downtown Rockford, and point out that nice sunset there just after 6 p.m. Still seeing that sun. Does look very nice here this evening. Temperatures are right around the teens, right around 20, still picking up some clouds, but overall much clearer skies than we had this time yesterday when we were seeing all that cloud cover beginning to move in. Temperatures around the region very warm off to our west. All that warm air will eventually work its way in. Tomorrow we're getting up near 50 degrees for our high temperature, but first tonight down to 18 degrees. We will rise throughout the night with that southwest wind. Tomorrow all the way up near 50, 49 for our high, but all of that wind that we'll be dealing with. And with that wind, the National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory that's in place for most of the eastern part of our viewing area. That goes into effect at 9 a.m. tomorrow through 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Speaking of that wind, this is the low-level jet. This is upper air that'll be moving through. Some of this heavier air and stronger winds will work its way down to the surface, bringing some stronger winds and wind gusts tomorrow during the later part of the morning and early part of the afternoon. That moves out later into the afternoon. That's when that advisory does expire. And then we'll see those begin to work their way beyond that into the day on Monday. We look at potential wind gusts up near 20 by the time we get early into the morning or late tonight, but near 40 to 45 miles per hour early into the day tomorrow and through the middle part of the afternoon. That's when that advisory is taking place. That wind doesn't hang on for very long as it pushes quickly out later into the next couple of days. Futurecast is showing some heavy clouds moving through. There's upper level clouds pushing across. Temperatures all the way to tomorrow get up near 50 degrees. Behind that, and lots of sunshine to boot. A system works its way in, though, that we'll be keeping an eye on. This system will bring potentially some wintry mix into the day on Monday and Tuesday, something that we will certainly keep an eye on here in these next couple of days. With that system, if that takes a more northerly track, we'll see more of a mix in rain, but a southerly track could bring us some snowfall as well. Still some details to iron out into these next couple of days. 7-day forecast is showing much warmer temperatures tomorrow with windy conditions. That system working through Monday and Tuesday, and then much colder temperatures toward the back end of the week, 24, 24, 28, heading into next weekend.
Now sports with David Greenberg.
Fred VanVleet has been a Nick 10 champion. He's been a two-time Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, and he's an NBA champion. Tonight in Cleveland, he'll try to add to that list with the title of NBA three-point champion. Scott Leber joins us once again live from the All-Star City with more. Hey there, Scott.
Hi, David. It is all about fun here tonight for All-Star Saturday night. But believe me, the guys who are involved in the dunk contest, the three-point contest, and the skills challenge, they all want to win, Fred VanVleet included.
From the Toronto Raptors, with his first All-Star selection, Stateline Malamutes.
That was Fred being introduced earlier today at the team practice in front of the crowd there, and it was a chance really for Fred to limber up, get in a few three-point shots to loosen up. He's going to be one of 8 players involved in the three-point contest tonight. The top 3 then will advance out of the first round to the championship round, and of course the winner of that trio will be declared the champion. I asked Fred if he has any strategy in mind for tonight's contest, or if he's just going to wing it.
Probably a little bit of both. I definitely, I've never done it before, so that will be the wing it part. But I'm gonna go over and practice a little bit, see how it feels, kind of find my rhythm and see what it's like. But just going out there having fun, man. And if I do good, I'll win. If I do bad, I'll get talked about for a few hours and move on. I can handle both.
And if you win, do you give another shout out to the 815?
Oh, for sure. You already know. That's mandatory.
So be listening closely for that shout-out, Rockford, if Fred wins tonight. It's going to be shown on TNT, and the All-Star festivities will begin at 7 o'clock. We're all going to be watching. That's it for now, David. I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Scott. Can't wait for that one coming up tonight. Check out some college hoops action now. The 12th-ranked Illini were in East Lansing, taking on number 19 Michigan State. Let's go to the second half. Kofi Coburn really making a case to be the National Player of the Year. Draws the foul, gets the and one. Finished with 27-9. But Sparty cut the Illini lead to 5, less than a minute. Tyson Walker draws contact, gets the layup to go. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game, but Illinois' got a pretty strong senior. Goes by the name of Trent Frazier, and he buries a 3. Talk about some onions as the Illini hang on for the 79-74 win on the road. Well, it's that time of year, and we have a bunch of high school postseason action today. It was the girls' state bowling meet. It took place at the Cherry Bowl in Rockford, and it was a packed house. Let's pick it up with Stephanie Windsor. She rolls it. Good rotation. Gets the strike for the Huskies. One of the individual bowlers in the field was Anne-Marie Rusevich from Boylan. She gets this final pin for the spare. Check out Freeport's Cameron Plowman. She was great today. This strike drops for her. She finished 12th individually. The Pretzels finishing 8th in the team standings. Over to the Hononegah Indians now. Madison Davenport had a great tournament. She drops 9 here on the first roll. Then to follow it up, polishes it off with the spare. She came in 5th individually, helped Hononegah secure a 4th place finish. Back to Harlem now, it's Paige Carpenter. She got a lone pin, and she gets it. She finished 16th individually, helping the Huskies finish 2nd in state as a team, just 207 pins behind state champion Lockport. Jordan's back with one last look at our forecast. I'm seeing a 49 on the board, but it seems like the wind gusts might be even close to that temperature.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be dealing with that wind tomorrow. Temperatures all the way up into the 50s. We have that high pressure today. Not really anything showing up on our radar from Rockford Auto Glass there. That shifts into the day tomorrow. Definitely some wind moves in and temperatures up near 50 degrees. Then that sets up the stage for a system working its way through Monday and Tuesday, potentially bringing us some ice accumulation and then colder heading into the rest of the week.
All right, thanks, Jordan. And thank you for spending some time with us tonight. We'll see you at 10.